Hey, what's up guys? How we doing? Today I want to talk a little bit about picking up the ball out of the pitcher's hand as a hitter. I've done a video on this a while ago, it's probably a year or two ago, but I continue to get questions every few days, and one of the most popular questions I get is, how do I pick up the ball better? So I wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about picking up the ball and go a little bit more in depth. Try to help you guys out a little bit, because believe me, everyone has trouble picking up the ball at some point or another. And when we're not going well, we always go back to the point where we say, well, I'm just not picking up the ball as well. So I think there are a few ways mechanically that you can try to pick up the ball, but then there's a few other things that may come into play that you might not have thought of when it comes to how we're seeing the ball that day. So the first thing is just the physical nature of picking up the ball. What do we have to do with our eyes to pick it up a little bit better? And I talked about this in the last video, but I'll go over it again really quickly. And it's just when we're looking out at the pitcher, we don't want to just stare at the pitcher for a long period of time, because our eyes will get a little bit tired. You can't stare at something for that long and not get tired. So what I talk about, and what you'll hear a lot of coaches talk about, is having a soft focus then going to a hard focus. So we just kind of look out general in the area of the pitcher. But as he gets into his windup and he gets ready to throw the ball, probably when his leg comes up, then we're going to go to that release point. So wherever that pitcher throws, if he's a high over-the-top guy, a three-quarter, a low three-quarter submarine, whatever he might be, we're going to know that in advance of going up to the plate. And now, as he lifts his leg and gets ready to deliver the ball, we're going to really zone in on that release point and wait for the ball to come out of there. So that's the actual mechanics of how you're going to use your eyes to pick up the ball. But there's a few other things that you might not think of that I think will help you pick up the ball better. The first thing, and I did a video on this, you can go back and look at it, I talk about the yes, yes, no approach. So we need to get ourselves in an aggressive state when we're hitting. And you might not think this has anything to do with picking up the ball, but it actually does. If you're up at the plate and you're thinking very aggressively, I say yes, yes, no. So the pitcher's in his windup and we're thinking we're going to swing the bat. Yes, we're going to swing. So all we have to think about is no. So we're thinking yes, yes, we're hitting. We're hitting. When he throws the ball, we're hitting. And the only decision we make is, as the ball's traveling, we're thinking yes, yes, we're going to hit. And now all of a sudden we see a ball and we say no, and we just put the brakes on. The reverse of that, and players that do this tend to have a tough time. They'll say they're not seeing the ball well. It's not that they're not seeing the ball, it's that they're not in the aggressive mind state. So they're thinking the opposite. They're thinking no, 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 and then they're trying to say yes at the last second. So how that would work is the pitcher's in his windup and you're thinking, no, I'm not going to swing, I'm not going to swing, I'm really going to see this ball in the strike zone. And by the time the ball gets to the strike zone and you try to tell yourself, yes, swing, it's too late. And you're not ready, and you'll foul the ball back, or you'll be really late. And then for some reason you just feel like you're not picking the ball up as well. It's not your eyes that are not helping you here. It's your mind. It's your mind state of not being aggressive enough, and now we're late all the time. So switch that around and be more aggressive. Go back and watch my video on the yes, yes, no approach. It gets into it a little bit more in depth. But it's just about being aggressive, being ready to hit every single pitch, and then just telling yourself at the last second, no, it's a ball, I'm not going to swing. It's a lot easier to put the brakes on than it is to start up and swing. Pitchers throw too hard. They have too many, especially when you get a little bit older, too good at breaking stuff to be passive at the plate. You have to be in an aggressive mindset. And then the last thing, and this is something that I think really gets the players. I know it's gotten to me in the past, and it's when we're thinking too much about mechanics at the plate. And you've heard it all the time. You just want to see the ball, hit the ball. But you'd be surprised, and if you think back of your at-bats, you'll probably realize that you're not always in the box just seeing the ball and hitting the ball. A lot of times, especially when things aren't going well, or maybe your swing's not feeling good, and maybe your coach is kind of trying to help you out, and let's just say, for an example, he's telling you that You have to get your foot down at a certain time, or you have to get your weight back at a certain time, or you have to get your hands back, whatever it may be. And you're actually in the box, and the pitcher's in his windup, and you're not even thinking about the ball. You're thinking about, okay, I got to get my hands back now, and now you're expecting to think about your hands and hit the ball at the same time. It's never going to work. So what you have to do is you have to, and this is probably the toughest thing to do in baseball, is to leave all of your mechanical thoughts in the batting cage. And when you get on the field, you just have to hit. And it's extremely tough, believe me, especially if you're struggling. I've had it before where I tell myself to leave it in the batting cage, but when I get into the game, I still find myself sometimes, here comes the pitch, and I'm thinking, okay, stride now, and I'm late on the ball because I'm not seeing the ball. Yes, I'm seeing the ball coming in, but I'm not totally 100% in tune with the baseball and just seeing the ball and hitting the ball. I'm thinking too much about mechanics, and you can't think of two things at the same time and expect to hit. You can only think about the ball, and that's it. So these are just a couple of other things. They're not technically physical or mechanical things to see the baseball better, but there's only so much we can do to see the ball. You pick up his release point and you watch the ball. That's basically it. But it's the other things in our mind that clouds our ability to see the ball. So keep this in mind. Let me know what you think. And I hope this helps out. I think it will. I know through my career I've had problems with both of these things, and I think every hitter does at one point or another. And if you can get rid of those other things and just focus on the ball, see ball, hit ball, I think you'll be a lot better. So let me know how it works, and we'll talk to you later.